If you haven't explored alternate tunings, you might be missing out a lot. Today I'll give you 2 fun alternate tunings and explaining why you might be missing out. So that's after the intro. Hello and welcome to another video with me, Elmo J. Karjalainen. It's good to have you along. You can call me this guy if my name is tricky to pronounce. Today we're looking at alternate tunings. Now I'm not talking about your regular drop it a half step like E flat or drop D or something like that. I'm talking about completely different tunings where you really tune your guitar differently, and why I think it's something that a lot of you should be looking at. First off, an easy kind of obvious one is if you're stuck in a rut, alternate tunings can really help you break out of that rut, especially musically, but also because the fingerboard mechanics change radically. The second reason that you might be missing out is because basically when we play guitar, we're kind of creatures of habit, and we get locked into certain ways of doing stuff, and I found that I actually write a lot of material on guitars that are tuned differently, material that is slightly different to the stuff that I might be writing otherwise. So alternate tunings can give you great new pathways to explore musically, and hey, basically it's fun. So you can do something different from your regular. Let's say you're practicing your major scales or you're doing picking exercises or whatever, and you're basically doing the same kinds of songs when you're writing music. So alternate tunings can really help you break out and do something new. So I have 2 guitars here, one here and one off camera, both tuned slightly differently from what you would normally expect. Let's start with this one. This is a Yamaha Pacifica that I've tuned real differently. I remember ages ago when I was a teenager, yes, it's really been that long, I saw in a guitar magazine that someone had tuned his guitar to all D, so every string to the nearest D. And I tried that, and it was really weird, really interesting as well, but really weird. And I think it was last year, I remembered that tuning, and I tuned the guitar, everything except the A string I tuned to D. I don't remember why I skipped the A string, but I really like the sound of that, and that's what I have this guitar tuned to. So it's going from high to low, it's D, 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 A, D, like this. it. So there's one tuning. It's all D except for one A, which creates, at least I think, an interesting sound. Now the problem with this one is I probably should change the string gauges to kind of do it properly. I just kept the regular strings on, so the G string is a bit, it's a bit loose, like a bit of rubber band, but that can create an interesting effect as well. So, something like that. Let's check out the other tuning I have. Now, the last tuning was a bit of an oddity. I basically never use it, but it's an interesting, what's a difficult word? Interesting thing to explore. This tuning that I have here is basically my workhorse alternate tuning thing. And I write a lot of music with this type of tuning. Now this is a 7-string guitar, but you can apply this same thing to a 6-string guitar. So from low to high I have G. So I have G, C, G, C, G, C, E. I have a faulty volume pot on this, I have to get it fixed, but it'll do for this video. You could tune the E string to D and get a different chord. That way this is a C major chord, of course, but you could get a suspended 2, which would give a slightly different kind of sonic quality. Now, I write a lot of music with this tuning, and this is something I've gotten from Devin Townsend, who uses this tuning basically exclusively. So stuff that you write on this might end up sounding a bit like him, but hey, we sound like our influences to some extent anyway. And you don't have to do the mass choirs and all that stuff. You can just have a 3-piece band, guitar, bass and drums, and maybe sing with this tuning because it sounds great. Now, as you might expect, because it's drop tuned, it's great for heavy metal stuff, but it's really interesting for other stuff as well, like what I just played, which was partly a part of a Devin Townsend song and partly something improvised because I couldn't remember how the song goes. But yeah, you can play. And naturally everything changes, so your scales become really different. With this tuning they become kind of symmetrical things, so you could do this type of stuff. Yeah, so start exploring alternate tunings because they can be really different and open up your mind to new musical horizons, which are always good. Well, which is always a good thing. The horizons might not always be brilliant musical stuff. Yeah, and these are just 2 alternate tunings. I mean, you can Google this stuff. There are other videos on YouTube that recommend different types of tunings to explore. And basically, the sky's the limit. So that's definitely something for you to check out, especially if you're feeling like maybe you're stuck a bit and you want to explore something new. Stupid volume pots. Anyway, that was all I have for you today. If you want to watch more lesson videos, there's a playlist here somewhere. Please click like if you liked the video. If you disliked it, you've probably buggered off already. Comment, let me know what you thought. If you have any alternate tunings that you like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell notification thing, and join me on Patreon because you get all of my music. Standard tune, drop tune, alternate tune, tuna fish. And you can take it for free if you don't want to pay. If you think it sucks, you don't have to pay. So, there's a link in the description to that. Other than that, I hope to see you in another video. Take care. Goodbye!